Okay, welcome back to another video. And while covering data types, there were some data types that were not covered, especially the data type that deals with lookup functions and the Boolean or yes no data type. We are going to look at those two data types today in this video. Now, when it comes to the lookup function, there are two ways in which that information can be captured in a table, and that can be captured in the following way. Let's start with the lookup function or the lookup data type. Now, when we open up, this table was initially used in the previous video. And in this, we have a student ID, which is a admission number, the student name, class, and the subject, and a total. Now, what if we want to specify the gender of these students? Now, for this case, we can first of all go to the design view and then add a field name known as the gender. So gender can either, for the more conservative view, male or female, or boy or girl. So we can come to the data type and then go to the lookup wizard. In this, we shall be taken through some steps. The first step that will ask us whether we have another table, that is the first one, or we will type the values that we want. We will start with this second one, then we shall go and create a table which we will again use to look up the values. So I will type the values that I want. This enables us to type the values that we want. In that case, we can type boy, girl, or male, female. We'll go for male, female. So for this case, the number of columns will be 1. And now we shall type what we want here. So I will type male and then I'll type female. So anytime you want to enter data in the table, you should be prompted with a drop down arrow that will have the two values that have been entered. Then now, what label would you like for your lookup field? We'll just call it gender, and we shall limit to list. Otherwise, if we don't limit, we could even type any other name. But for now, let's just type it to a given list, and that is the list that we want. And then now we shall finish. So when we go back to datasheet view, first of all, we'll be prompted to to save it. We shall save it. And now you can see we have another field for gender. Now, when I click on this field, you can see that there is a drop down arrow. Now, Jane is female. We shall select. Eric is male. We shall select. Wendy is female. We shall select female. And Ken is male. So once we do that, it is updated automatically. Now, having done that, let us go to this second table. I will close the initial table. Let's go to the second table, and we'll still do the same thing, but now we want to create a table with the two types of gender. So for that case, first of all, we shall create table. In this table, of course, we need to go to the design view, so we shall call it TBL. Of course, our naming conventions that I like, TBL gender. Having done so, we shall have gender ID, so underscore ID, let that be an auto number. Now we shall go to male, or rather gender. For this case, we can even have gender long to be the long version of gender, and that of course will be short text. Then we shall have gender short. So gender short will also be short text. So gender short will be the initial MF, then gender long will be male, female. Having done so, we can now populate our table. First of all, save it. Then gender long, we'll call this male, tab, it is M. Then number 2, we'll call female, tab, F. So once we have that table, we can now close it and then go back to the imported details table. As you can see, it only has 3 subjects and we don't have any other field. So we shall go to design view. Now we come here and add gender. So gender will be the field that we shall populate our pre-entered data from the gender table. So here we shall come to the lookup wizard, and now we are back to where we started. So now we want to look up the field from another table, so, or a query, but now of course it's a table. So we'll go to next, and then the table here, all the tables are listed. We have gender, imported student details, and student details. So we shall go to table gender. Now we can now decide, do we want the short version or do we want the long version? So of course we shall only have the, we'll go for the long gender version. So in that case, we are asked whether we can leave it ascending in terms of alphabetical order. So we'll start with F, or it will start with F. We can also sort it in terms of whatever we want, either in ID or long or short, but of course we wanted long, so we only have the ID and the long. So for that case, we shall go for the gender long and ascending, so it's start from female and then go to male, because F of course it comes earlier than M. So next, these are the 2 values that we entered in gender table, and we hide the key column. Of course it is recommended, we don't want, we have 2 columns when we are looking for it, and they will not make any sense for whoever will be using it. So we shall just say let it have female and male, and then next we'll also call that lookup field gender. We shall now save the table. Save it. Yes, we have saved it. So when we come to the table now, we can easily select female, select male, 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 female, or type F, enter, F, enter, male, enter, sorry, male, enter, M, sorry, M, enter, M, enter, and so on and so forth. So that is how we can have some pre-populated values that can be looked up from a table. So in the next video, we'll also look at how we can use the Boolean or the yes no type of data.